Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. And also, please follow the QueenAShakur fan page. You can check me out on Twitter at TheGoddess27. Also, don't forget to text the word Royals to 1-844-589-6096 in order to receive occasional text offers, notifications, and alerts. All right? So with that all being said, hello, warrior status. Nevermind 56, Gibran. All right. Nevermind is in the house. Emperor Rex, Christopher, Terry. October, I see you. Destiny, Creative Vibes, Flow Records, Piggy's Picks, Pearly, Queen Candy J, Solar Sun X, Cherie, Nicole. All right, JB1, I see you. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, people. Hello, Shawana. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Listen to this, people. Listen to this. Hold on. Let me get these pop-ups. Now, 24 are charged with forcing migrants into modern-day slavery in South Georgia. And y'all said they wouldn't bring slavery back? They're absolutely waiting to. And in fact, it's not really gone anywhere. I mean, they still do it, you know, in the dark of nights. So this happened in Waycross, Georgia. So they say for years, migrant workers who paid for help entering the United States ended up being forced to perform farm labor for little to no pay. And this is according to federal authorities. You know, they say cowing to threats of deportation and violence by armed overseers while they lived in dirty, cramped trailers with little food or clean water. Do y'all hear this? Like they really are out here making people into slaves. Y'all think this is a game? And who do y'all think is doing this to these migrants? It's not Black folk. We all know who it is. The same people that enslaved your ancestors. So when they try to tell us, Kabami, Uncle Tim, Sloppy Joe, Jim Crow, when they try to tell us this country is a racist, of course it is. This country loves slavery. And when they call Black people lazy, let us remember who still continues to force people to work for free. So, and why do you have the decency to give the people clean water? And speaking of clean water, have they fixed the water crisis down there in Flint, Michigan? No, they haven't. They have not. But they want everybody to think that they're so concerned about health and well-being and all of that. Miss me with it. Now, some who had been promised up to $12 an hour on farms in rural South Georgia were instead ordered to dig up onions. Now, y'all listen to this foolishness. Ordered to dig up onions with their bare hands. And they got paid only 20 cents per filled bucket as men with guns kept them in check. According to court records. You all know what this sounds like. You remember that movie Antebellum? Y'all remember that, right? That's what this sounds like. It reeks of it. Let me read this to you all again. Let me read this to you all again. They promised the people they would pay them $12 an hour to work on farms in rural South Georgia, but instead forced these people to dig up onions out of the dirt with their bare hands and paid them what? 20 cents per filled bucket. Not even 20 cents an onion. 20 cents for each bucket. So you mean to tell me 5 buckets of onions only yield you $1? Wow. And this story is just about the ones that got caught recently. There's so many of these people doing this. Are y'all paying attention? Oh my goodness. But I want you to notice. Here's what I want you to notice, people. These are the same devils who do not want anyone to teach or speak about critical race theory. You see, I want you to pay attention to the irony of it all, the nefariousness. They don't want you to talk about slavery, teach about slavery, but they want to keep you in slavery. Y'all getting it now? They don't want nobody discussing no slavery. Stop talking about slavery, Black people. That was 400 years ago. Stop playing the victim, they say. Meanwhile, they still have people as slaves. Now they have these people out here working, toiling in the dirt, feeding them bullshit to eat and dirty water to drink, giving them 20 cents for a bucket of onions. And this is who some of you Migrant Negroes go out there and protest to in the streets, begging for justice. You'll get none. That's what you'll get. You'll get none. All right? You think they're going to give you justice? They got people out here working as whole slaves. Now, in a case federal prosecutors bluntly likened to modern slavery, a grand jury indicted 24 people in U.S. District Court on dozens of criminal counts. Now, here's what I want y'all to pay attention to. When they say federal prosecutors likened it to modern slavery, that tells you right there that there's slavery. How do you liken it to modern slavery? It is modern slavery. That's an oxymoron. You can liken it to chattel slavery, antebellum. You can liken it to that. But it literally is modern slavery. So you don't have to liken it to, that's just what it is. So they go on to say, District Court, they had a grand jury indict 24 people and U.S. District Court on dozens of criminal counts, including forced labor, mail fraud, witness tampering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. But they don't want y'all teaching about Dr. King, though. Now do you all understand why they don't want us talking about slavery? Well, I'm glad you asked, because slavery, it still continues. And they don't need you all bringing that back up. That's what they don't need. Right? Now, arraignments in the case, and let me tell you all something else too. This just came to my mind. Now, you know how back in the days when our ancestors were enslaved and they would purchase, different slaves and sell them to one plantation to the other. And often they would buy little Black children, right? Little Black slave children. And they would buy that for the little lily white children and make them into Christmas gifts. And their children would go around and ride on the backs of these little Black kids and treat them like dogs and pets and pat them on the head and all of that and make them to do their bidding, right? You don't think they still do that? Of course they do. You see, when you find people like Charlize Theron and when Madonna, when you see them going out here and adopting whole Black kids and you wonder why, well, this is often for the reason. Usually they'll go and adopt little Black boys so they can put them in a dress, or they're going to adopt little Black girls so they can put them in pants and shave off their hair and tell them that they're boys. This is what they often do. And that should be a choice if someone wants to do that. But no, they teach them that. Charlize Theron is a prime example. Now, not only that, they still go to adopt these children in some cases for their little children to use them as slaves and pets. Now, I told you recently about a video that I saw where Karen had adopted a little Black child and she had a little daughter, right? Her own biological daughter. And so they were at the park one day with Karen and all of her friends, Becky, Kate, and Sue. And so the little child, the girl, was trying to get into a swing and she couldn't get up there. And so Karen tells the little Black boy, go up there and help your sister. He goes and gets down on all fours. And then little Becky puts her feet on his back and steps up into the swing. That's the same thing they did in slavery. Okay? So when they're out here adopting Black children, some of them, this is what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying all of them, because clearly the white people who adopted Colin Kaepernick were decent people, as we can see. But I'm just saying, some of them, this is absolutely why they do it. In case you were wondering. But anyway, let me continue. So now they say authorities said An investigation that began 3 years ago broke up a criminal enterprise that netted $200 million by exploiting H-2A work visa program, the H-2A work visa program, to bring workers from Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras into the U.S. This is what they've been doing. $200 million. So I want you to pay attention. So in other words, they're still building generational wealth off of slavery. And let me tell you something. They know this stuff is going on. They have been knowing this for decades. It's nothing new. So the laborers were forced to pay legal fees. They're supposed to pay illegal fees for transportation, food, and housing. Not legal fees, but illegal fees for transportation, food, and housing, according to the indictment, while their travel and identification documents were withheld, preventing them from leaving and seeking help. Let me tell you something. I did a whole report on this same thing 3 or 4 years ago on Facebook. And you know, this is the same thing as trafficking. That's the same thing. Human trafficking, right? Making people into slaves, taking people from one place to another. You see what they often do. And just so you know, there's at least 280,000 people per year in the United States alone that are human trafficked in and out of the U.S. This is a fact. Look it up. Now, and if you haven't ever seen a movie called El Norte, you should watch it. Okay? El Norte. It means up north. You should watch that movie. They have subtitles, but it's really good. All right? So, the American dream is a powerful attraction for destitute and desperate people across the globe. And where there is need, there is greed. And those who will attempt to exploit these willing workers for their own obscene profits, this is what U.S. Attorney David Estes of the Southern District of Georgia said. Where there is need, there is greed, and people who will exploit them for profits. Absolutely. He says, thanks to outstanding work from our law enforcement partners, Operation Blooming Onions, that's what they call it. It frees more than 100 individuals from the shackles of modern day slavery and will hold accountable those who put them in chains. They are still putting people in chains. Are y'all getting it yet? Now, a federal grand jury in Waycross indicted the 24 defendants in October. It was made public only after a judge unsealed the document late in November. Because they weren't going to talk about this. And you won't find this on Fox News. I guarantee you. You won't find this on Fox News or CNN, MSNBC. You won't find it. ABC, NBC. That's what you won't do. Now, since at least 2015, the indictment says the defendants used H-2A visa applications to bring dozens of migrant workers into the U.S. as agricultural workers. Now, the federal program requires that workers be paid a fair wage, often $10 to $12 per hour, and then to be reimbursed for expenses involving travel to and from the U.S., and as well as food and lodging. Now, instead, prosecutors said the defendants kept most of the money that the workers made, most of the money that the workers owed. They kept it. They laundered their profits by using cash to buy land, homes, and more than a dozen vehicles. I mean, this is a whole job. They're out here getting rich, living fancy-free and footloose. And they bought dozens of vehicles as well as purchasing a restaurant and a nightclub. Millions got laundered through casinos, according to the indictment. Brother Sly says there would be nothing without free labor. Absolutely. There would be nothing and they would have nothing. Now, Estes credited more than 200 law enforcement officers and federal agents with working on the case, which focused on rural Atkinson, Bacon, Coffee, Tatnall, Toombs, and Ware counties. And let me tell you something. I want you all to pay attention because I was just talking to my moderators about this the other day. So listen. They said they had an investigation going on for like 3 years, right? Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, this investigation was going on for like 3 years. Now, with that all being said, that's the thing about the feds. You see, the feds aren't like the regular law enforcement police, all right? The police come and arrest you, and then conduct the investigation, right? Not the feds. The feds start conducting the investigation. And after they get all the ducks in a row and get all the evidence and proof and receipts, then they're going to come and arrest you. And that's why when the feds come, there's no getting out of it. There's no getting out of it. There's no lying, no splaining, no, oh, they framed me, oh, they set me up, they did this, that, and the third. No. When the feds come, they're going to have those receipts. All right? So clearly these people are doing exactly what they're accused of and have been doing it for 3 years. It began 3 years ago, the investigation. Just devils. Like, who does this? Anyway, let me continue, honey, because I cannot. I absolutely cannot. Now, listen to this. This is real crazy right here, people. So you've seen those robo dogs that the police are going to be using, which I'm sure they're going to program to attack Black people. That's just my opinion. But listen to this. Robo gangs. That's what they call it. Mexican drug cartels could kill anyone with deadly slaughterbots while you sleep. Now, an MIT artificial intelligence and weapons researcher warns that a kind of slaughterbots may soon be in the hands of drug cartels. AI experts and MIT professor Max Tegmark told the Next Web that militaries are already in the process of turning weaponized robots into a reality. What are we in? The Terminator? Now they say they'll be small, cheap, and light like smartphones, and incredibly versatile and powerful. These killer robots might seem innovative to some, but to others, they do more harm than good, and especially if they fall into the wrong hands. They say if you buy Slaughterbots for the same price, or if you can buy Slaughterbots for the same price as an AK-47, that's much preferable for drug cartels because they're not going to get caught anymore when they kill someone, if that's the case. They say even if a judge has lots of bodyguards, you can fly in through a bedroom window while they're sleeping and kill them. What? This is what they say. And then they say, according to Tegmark and other researchers, this type of AI technology is already posing a threat to civilians. Still, their production is facing a little opposition from the U.S. government. Now, along with Russia and China, the U.S. has expressed just ahead of the United Nations conference that it does not want to completely ban the illegal weapons, even if the experts disagree. Do you all realize how dangerous this is? You all realize how dangerous this is, right? They're talking about drug cartels getting a hold of these. What about racist devil getting a hold of these? What about the police using these? They could just kill any Black person that they want to. Racist devils, police, you name it. They could just kill any Black person that they want to, one of these Slaughterbots. And then who's going to be to blame? They could say the Slaughterbot, it had a malfunction. There was a glitch. It feared for its life. They'll give you all kinds of witty excuses, no less, to justify the BS. Pay attention. This is absolutely dangerous, people. And how do you defend yourself against something like this? Frankly, you can't. I mean, you can't shoot it. It's not going to die, right? Brother Sly said it was hacked. Yes, they could say it was hacked. They could say all kinds of things. Are y'all paying attention to this yet? Clearly nefarious and so crazy. So anyway, it is what it is, people. This is what we have to deal with. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. They say this is a way they can live forever. I am planting their brains in a robot, half human. By planting their brains in a robot, half human. Yeah, and half bot. Absolutely. It's called transhumanism, right? Absolutely. 444. It didn't have its update, says Brother Sly. Exactly. Oh, they'll have all kinds of witty excuses. It had a virus, right? It had a Microsoft virus. That's what they'll say. Soldier Slim said RoboCop would be soon introduced. Then the alien invasion. The movies don't lie. You're right about that. And that absolutely is going to be a fake alien invasion. Please pay attention. It's all a setup, all right? Queen of Dice says, these are made by them, for them, by them. Exactly. The mind is wicked. Are they planning their own demise? You know what? They think they have it all figured out, but I'm just going to sit back and watch. Who makes this? Who makes something like this? I mean, what kind of nefarious mindset comes up with these concocted crazy ideas? I think we all know. So anyway, it is just plain evil, TJ. Absolutely. So wicked. But anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast because I'm going live on the original QueenAShakur show. And we're going to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, the update on that, right? And also pay attention, people, because I will be doing numerous videos back to back today. I'm going to be uploading some of them. All right. So with that all being said, Amazon Tribe says 200,000 for your face on a robot. They didn't say when they take your face, when they take your faces, if I agree. Right. They did offer that, right? I think it was like $289,000. Like real crazy for you to put your face on a robot. And you know what? Some Black people are going to do it just because they want the money, honey. You can put my face on a robot with my consent. I don't care how much money you offer. Oh, crazy. I appreciate you too, Overthoughts. Thank you, beloved. So with that all being said, everyone, please like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And I hope to see you all in the next chat on the original QueenAShakur show. Peace.